Hello, and welcome to Lemieux Reviews, where we bring you the stories you might not yet have heard of. My name is Ross Lemieux, and today we will be starting our new series called Behemoth. The series was created by Tate Bromble, and the art was done by Nick Rowles. It was published by Boom Studios and released in November of 2022. It's a 5-issue series filled with kaiju, military intervention, and our two main characters on the run and being hunted. A story that jumps from the past to the present, as Grayson, a social worker, and Ren, an orphan child, try to make their way to safety and the answers they seek. I'd like to thank Rad Raptor Comics for giving me this story idea. I don't know what grabs me most about this cover art style. Is it the play on colors, the pure art, the imagery they're trying to show? I think it's one of the best works of art I have in my collection, and it really just speaks to me. We open with one of our two main characters, Grayson, attending a funeral for his brother, who had passed suddenly and unexpectedly. He stands over the coffin of his brother, Liam, with difficulty drawing upon memories of his childhood. In Grayson's memory, him and Liam are under a tent of sheets with a flashlight sitting in between them. They are going over their plans for the future, what they hope to accomplish once they are able to leave their foster home. Suddenly, there is a slam at the door, a loud, continuous banging as Liam walks over and picks up a bat and walks over to the door. Grayson, in a moment of clarity, apologizes for not being there when it happened, before flashing to a vision of a man running to the top of a hill. In the distance, two lights, like eyes, stare back at the man. Grayson is snapped back to the present by an officer named Kavita, handing him the flag honoring his brother. They reminisce about how secretive Liam was and how he wouldn't talk about Grayson. Kavita tries to soothe Grayson, telling him he is just having a panic attack, having to deal with his loss, leaving him with a cryptic message saying that if he thinks the world is ending all at once, then he hasn't been paying attention. We are treated to background information as Grayson walks down the road. Seemingly he is being medicated, but the medicine isn't working, giving him migraines and nightmares, and losing track of time. Grayson, in his role as social services, arrives at his first stop, on foot, and is greeted by a man with ash on his forehead, trying to distract Grayson by talking to him about his brother's murder. The man is fostering multiple children, and those children have been missing school, prompting Grayson to have to come by and do an inspection. Joe, the foster house owner, seems to be trying to deflect, talking about what a stellar record he has. Grayson is racked by a migraine and drops all his paperwork. As the pain brings him to his knees, he once again sees the shining eyes, and in front of him is a little girl. The girl's name is Ren, and she is shocked and drops the plates, shattering it on the ground. He rushes to her aid, cleaning the cut on her hand from the broken plate, when he realizes, looking at her face for the first time, that the child has a black eye. Joe immediately starts to try and make excuses for himself, but Grayson, only able to see red and visions of violence in his mind, approaches Joe. He wakes up under the water, freaked out and scared that he's once again losing time. A voice from the next room is giving a news report about earthquakes and fires that have wrecked the continent. Grayson has lost more time. He tries to soothe himself with tea, once again relaxing in the water. But before he can relax, suddenly there is a pounding on his front door. Answering it, he sees Kavita, who has come to collect him because of an incident that has happened at the house he had just left. A preacher is wailing in the background about the end of days. As we are brought back to the foster home, Grayson had just visited. Trees have seemingly collapsed onto the house, and inside no one seems to have survived besides the little girl Wren, who is hiding under the sink and refuses to come out. He tries to talk her out by sharing some of his past with her. The times he was scared after losing his parents, but his brother was always there to help until they drifted apart and he passed. He reaches in as it seems to have worked, and as Wren reaches back to him, there is suddenly a flash, and both him and the little girl freak out and throw themselves away from each other, her screaming, "Not again." He has a violent reaction to the confrontation that leaves him shaken. He barricades himself in the bathroom as more visions of the battle flood his mind, and the police try to get him out, thinking he is now acting suspicious. He becomes violently ill as more visions start playing with his waking thoughts, till he hallucinates his deceased brother as a child at the door, and a monstrous face leers behind him. The visions overwhelm him. Grayson is pulled down and further until right below him emerges the behemoth. Once more, Grayson wakes up startled underwater in his tub. Terrified of what he might have done, he calls someone, thinking it's the pills doing this to him, until he walks into the police station and sees the carnage that has taken place there, with the building and people ripped apart as if some catastrophe had come through and taken everything out. And in the middle of it all, we find Wren, covered in blood, and it turns out that it isn't Grayson who has been causing all the carnage and damage, but Wren, having turned into the monster, not meaning to cause the damage, but unable to stop herself. We see on the last page a vision of the future, Grayson as some kind of shepherd, and Wren as a colossal creature turning back into the girl, finding an area where they might one day be safe, before they have to travel once more into danger. That closes out our first issue of Behold Behemoth, a dark tale of orphaned and abused children finding each other to solve the mysteries of their world. Lives marred by tragedy, brought together by destiny. What really happened to his brother, and how does it all connect? As a first issue goes, this one opens you up to a lot of questions and really lays out the mystery for you. I hope you join us in finding the answers in our future issues and videos of Behold Behemoth. Please like, share, subscribe. This has been Lemieux Reviews. My name is Rossamy. Thank you very much.